Hey y'all, it's me, CheesyPaninie, and today I'm going to be talking about my current progress in my upcoming VTuber Live2d model. Yes, that's right, I am making myself an actual Live2d model that actually moves, and not just, moves the eyes like this and this and this and this and this, an actual model that moves. Can you believe it? Anyways, so, I'm gonna be busy for the next few weeks, probably months, I don't really know. Because I'm gonna be putting all my focus in this one, and I'm probably gonna be streaming still, but I won't be able to do any videos while I'm working on this one. So yeah, and I decided that maybe it would be cool if I do like a progress report, like a weekly, bi-weekly progress report, something like that. I'm not gonna be scripting this. I'm just gonna go off the cuff, probably put like an outline and just run my mouth off and talk about what's been going on with my little project over here. So yeah, also I will not be making Live2d model tutorials. I'm just gonna be talking about my experiences. Though it would be really good if you guys learned something from any of my experiences. First of all, I'm gonna show you this little thing. So this is my character sheet, my very first character sheet that I did September of last year. Now, at that time, I wasn't actually working on making a Live2d model. I was actually trying to recreate my current cheesy model into a character sheet so that it would be easy for me to design her next outfits, I thought it would be really helpful that way, because sometimes when I draw in pixel art, it's just the lines are all jagged and I can't really put my my ideas on paper properly. Like this one, I had a really hard time with this harness. I couldn't figure out how it's supposed to look, how it's supposed to drape. So I had to draw them like this to figure it out, right? And the thing about this was, I ended up not completing this because, first of all, look at those legs. Look at that. Look at what's happening over here and what is happening over the face. And is that a tail? Yeah. There was actually a time I wanted to give Cheesy this hair tail thing, right? Basically, it's not perfect. It's not bad. It's not super bad, but it's not perfect. And it also I couldn't get Cheesy's correct proportions. Like over here, she's too thin, and the legs are too long. I'm very, very short. Cheesy is very, very short, and the body wasn't the correct proportions, basically. And as for the clothes, I realized that I might have put too much detail. I thought a little bit of shading and highlights would help. And I realized after some time that putting this much shading and highlights slowed down my progress. This was just supposed to be like something I would draw to figure out what the outfit is supposed to look like before I put it into the pixel art. So I kind of abandoned that idea for a while. I ended up revisiting it, and I was supposed to finally finish it, and then I realized, no, I really did not like that first character sheet, so I redid it. I drew it again, and this is what I ended up with. I like it a lot more. The face of Cheesy over here isn't as accurate to my current face, but that doesn't matter. I think it still looks cute. Even the side view profiles are looking a lot better. It's a lot more defined, and the proportions, oh my god, the proportions are finally correct. It's the right shape, the right thickness, and the right length. Yes, this is exactly how short I want her to be. Now, you may be wondering, why is it only now that I decided to finally pursue making a Live2d character? To be honest, this isn't my first time making a Live2d character. I actually made a Live2d model a long time ago. This is her, and she's the face is actually not bad, though if you look down, it's like, whoa, what is happening with those hands, man, those arms. It didn't even occur to me that I made the arms too long until someone pointed out that the elbow had to be like under the boob, and I was like, oh my god, what was I thinking? Then when you go back a little further down, it's like, look at those feet, guys, those feet. I can't even tell you. Oh my god. Look, I did my best, okay? I did my best. It just wouldn't look right. I don't know how to draw front-facing feet. Well, at least now I kind of know how to do it now, sorta. Without with a lot of trial and error, I managed to make something that looked kind of nice. I also made this. Yeah, this is an attempt. I kind of like the look of this face, but it's honestly really difficult to draw. Like, it gave me a headache trying to draw this, and when I started drawing the body, I was like, oh my god, what am I doing? This is terrible. I hate it! So yeah, like I never finished this one. So yeah, that's another one. And then I decided to go for a more cartoonish one. So I ended up with something like this. I actually streamed myself drawing this at some point. Yes, again, it's too tall. This is not cheesy. This is an imposter cheesy. And they're too thin. They're too thin for my liking. Also, I also made a version with nicer shaped hair. I don't know. But yeah, basically I ended up abandoning this because I wasn't happy. Now, we're going to make a VTuber design that's a lot closer to this. Actually, I'm basing the whole body off of this. I might change the arm and the leg positioning. But yeah, basically this is going to be the basis for my Live2d. But I'm not going to use the actual graphic. I'm going to draw over it. I'm going to use this as a guide. And for my future outfits, I'm also going to be using this character sheet. Okay, so this is my first draft. The art style that I was using, yeah, it's based on this one. Cozy Grove is kind of like an Animal Crossing Don't Starve Together hybrid type of game, and I really like the art style of it because I don't know, it's nice to look at, you know, it's nice to look at. And what it does is it has these thick outlines paired with really thin ones, and there are some lines that have gaps in between, and then like dots and stuff, and that's basically the concept for cheesy. And I kind of like this. If you look at this tree closely, you know how there's like a shading over here and then there's like white lines. I kind of like that idea for hair strands. I was heavily inspired by this when I was working on this particular VTuber model. Now I started adding the hair, and like I said, I wanted to do those gaps with dots and stuff. But this is kind of thicker. The lines are thicker than what I use, and this is the kind of coloring that I wanted to do. I really like the idea of having Pantone colors, so that even though I'm not doing cheesy and pixel art anymore for this one, it would still have kind of some remnants of that pixel art gradient that I really like for her hair. And that's the idea. And look, these are the lines that I was talking about. Then I ended up with this. I didn't want to use any black lines, so the face would have a brown outline and the hair would have like purplish outline. And I kind of wanted to do a more bushier eyebrows, and of course the signature big nose cheesy. I actually want to make this a little bit smaller. I did at this time in this one, it's accurate to the size of a real person's nose and eyes, and I kind of want the eyes to be a lot bigger, like for, you know, anime style or cartoon style, you know? But I want the nose to still have that round shape, and this is actually a really important CheesyPaninie feature, and I'm gonna tell you why. So, you know how growing up we've got our own legends and myths from each country, right? One of the legends that were told to us when I was a kid was the legend of why Filipinos have flat noses. So apparently, a long time ago, there were no noses at all. And then this boy named Juan kind of slipped on the ground and some mud stuck to his face, and it made him more handsome because, you know, now he has this thing on his face that acts like a nose, that looks like a nose, and everyone thought he was so handsome. And then eventually at some point he lost it because, you know, I think he fell over and got removed. And then one day there was a boat that had free noses to give away to people, and in this legend, the first people who were able to get their free noses were the white people. I'm not joking. That's technically what it said. The white folks were the ones who went into the village and said, "Hey, I got a nose, and stuff." I'm not being racist. This is actually what was written in the legend, at least the one that I saw online. Okay, and then by the time Juan and his other friends were able to get to the boat, the only ones left were flat noses because everyone was such in a hurry and they kind of trampled on some of the noses. So yeah, that's what happens. And honestly, I don't even remember what I thought of as a kid when I heard that. But when I was older and I remembered that legend, I was kind of annoyed because, like, why are you telling the youngins this story in such a way that makes it seem like you should be ashamed to have this kind of nose? It's not an ugly nose, you know, but a lot of people do get, you know, nose jobs and surgery just to get that small pointy nose that other foreigners have. And I just think it's kind of sad, honestly, especially when I see actresses in the Philippines that start changing their noses. And look, I don't have anything against people who do nose jobs, but it does make me kind of sad to think that there are some people who do this because they grew up thinking this nose is ugly, you know? That's all I'm thinking. That's all I'm thinking. It wouldn't be such a bad thing if it's like someone changed their nose because they just really prefer it that way, or they think it matches better with their face, you know? But if you grew up hating it because everyone made fun of you, everyone grew up being conditioned to think this is not a good looking nose, it's really sad. And I don't really remember being made fun of for my own nose growing up. But back in college, I had a boyfriend who made fun of my nose. I don't remember the exact events that occurred. I just remember that I made a positive comment on my nose, like my nose is nice looking or something like that. I don't remember what I said. And then my boyfriend kind of laughed like yeah, right, or something like that. And I was like, how dare you? I don't know. I was just really annoyed by that. Well, there's a reason why he's my ex now. And as for these bushy eyebrows, that's another thing. I have bushy eyebrows. They're pretty thick. Actually, when I was even younger, these two used to be a unibrow, right? Though this part in the middle is just really like baby hair, really small. It's not really that bad, but I used to pluck this. I don't want the unibrow, but I do like my thick eyebrows. I don't have to pencil it in or something just to make it look nice. But I have been constantly offended in the mall. You know, the people at the mall who stand around the makeup aisle waiting for people to come by and stuff. Someone once called me before to fix my eyebrows and stuff. I was like, no, I'm not interested. And then I came by the same aisle again because I was shopping. And they kept saying, hey, let me fix your eyebrows. I'm like, no, I don't want it. I wanted to make Cheesy have the traits that people have deemed to be ugly or not beautiful or stuff like that kind of thing, you know? I wanted to have that and make it look pretty. You know, like to kind of prove to people, hey, this is still pretty, you know? You can make this look pretty. Maybe it's a little silly to think about it that way, but it's just a thing. It's just a thing. Okay, it's just an artistic preference. Anyway, moving on. And this one, I actually put eyes now. I actually really like these eyes, and there's like a little heart there and like that. I really like it. But I wasn't completely in love with this style as much as I thought I would be. So I kind of decided just to let it rest for a bit, and I kind of focused on other things for now. Then recently I made Cheesy a new costume on stream, and I'm gonna show it to you. And yeah, this is what I did. This is what I draw on stream. I drew this for 4 hours. I can't wait to draw this outfit for Cheesy's new Live2d model, but that's probably gonna be a long time from now. This was actually planned to be drawn on my current model, this one, the one I'm using right now. But one of the reasons why I'm making a Live2d model is because Honk.io, the program that I'm using to make Cheesy move, this PNG tuber, has not updated for probably more than a year. Not quite sure, but yeah, there's been no updates on it, and there's actually a couple of people who have been trying to get a hold of the developer, but it looks like they're kind of busy with other things now, which I can't really blame them. Everyone has their own thing. But yeah, now I don't have anything to if this stops working, you know? Because people who are using Windows 11 can no longer use this thing. So I keep thinking, if Windows 10 updates enough, at some point this program might actually break. So I thought about it, and I thought maybe it's about time to make my Live2d model. And the biggest reason why I didn't want to make one before was because I wanted to keep Cheesy as a pixel art model, and I wasn't confident that I would be able to make a pixel art VTuber in Live2d. But I have been proven wrong many times by a lot of VTubers who use pixel art models, such as Blubber Muffins and Kanan Nate. And there's actually been more and more being made, and I could see them all on Twitter, and it's really nice. It's really nice to see that this is possible now. I mean, they've probably always been possible before, it's just not that many people were making them. But now that I can see from them that it really is indeed possible, I feel a lot more confident to try it out. After my first attempt, I tried it again, And this time I was heavily inspired by this artist on Twitter named Yoaihime. And I just, look at this. I just really like how they drew their lines. It's just so clear, it's just so nice looking. And they've actually made a VTuber. Look at how nice it looks. Ain't that awesome? Yeah, so I thought that maybe I could do this kind of art style. So I tried it out, at least the line art. And for the coloring, I'd probably do something else. So yeah, basically I did this. Kind of tried the bushy eyebrows, but it seemed like it was too all over the place. I wasn't completely happy with. So I decided to just make it like a simple line like that. And I copied over the eyes because I really like the eyes, you know. And I kind of just traced over it and stuff like that. Eventually, I ended up with this. It's looking pretty good. It's looking pretty good. The hair is just colored that way because it's separated from each other. And I did that so I knew which one is which. I was really happy, right? I was really happy with this. But it didn't feel right. I just really wanted a pixel art avatar, you know? So eventually I caved. I went to do a pixel art. This is what it ended up looking like. You know, when I actually turned it into a pixel art version. It's the exact same one. I just kind of drew over it. And I'm actually crazy proud of this ear. I feel like it's the nicest looking ear I have ever drawn in my whole entire life. I just really loved it. And yeah, the eyes, it's pretty nice. I was really happy with this, right? But there's something about it that didn't feel completely right to me, but I couldn't quite articulate what it was that didn't feel right about it. And I kind of showed this off to Chaos, my boyfriend, and he told me that there might be too much detail in this, and he was worried about me burning out because I might have a hard time completing this whole thing if it's gonna have this level of detail. And I sat down and thought about it, and I realized, yes, he's perfectly right. It's very easy for me to draw this face, right? This face. But if I'm gonna draw the rest of the body, I'm gonna have a really, really hard time. So it's also really important that when you start making a live 2D character, you should probably know your limits, your capabilities, and how much work you're willing to put in it. Because I do not want to put so much work just trying to draw the body, you know? And besides, because it's so high def, you could hardly tell that it's pixel art now. You can't really appreciate the pixels anymore because it's too high def. This is kind of like 1/4 of the size of the first one that I showed you. So I kind of halved this size. This is now half of that size, and I ended up with this. Okay, sorry. Please ignore this. I'm still working on it. Basically, I ended up with this, and I'm actually really happy about this. It's looking very nice. Honestly, the first time I made it, I was worried that maybe now it just doesn't have enough detail. Now it's just not interesting enough. Like the eyes, you can't even see the kind of detail that I used to have with the eyes. And I realized maybe it's not such a bad thing, you know? Besides, if I move it around like this, you can still see it. You can still see that double curve kind of thing. It could still look nice. And I really want to give Cheesy a lot of outfits, and if I make the base model too complicated for myself, I will have a harder time making those outfits. And, you know, it'll just be useless. I'll probably be stuck with one outfit for a really long time, or maybe forever, you know, if I stuck to making it super detailed that it's become almost impossible for me to do, you know? So yeah, in the end, I have decided to go with this resolution. It is the most reasonable one for me. As for the ears, you might have noticed that I have like an ear that's looking this away and this away. So my plan is for Live2d, because I've seen someone do this before. When she's looking in front, straight ahead, her ears will be like this, but if she looks in the side, to the side, it will turn into this, you know. That's the plan. And I'm planning to do the same with the nose. Though, yeah, I'm not exactly sure if I also need to make another drawing that's looking up here and here or down there. It might be too complicated. Right now, my only plan is to make it look to the left and to the right. So yeah. So far, that's what I have. And I actually showed this to James and he approves. And also, he did this to my beautiful face. See this? The nerve of that guy. He made me a goddamn airbender. And then my other friend was like, the last cheese bender? He should be the last cheese bender. And then they made it like they made the arrow yellow. These dudes. James, if you're watching this, I'ma kick you. I'ma kick you when I see you. So watch out. Watch out, I tell ya! So anyways, that's it so far. I hope that you enjoyed this video. It's pretty long. Anyways, that's it for now. I'm gonna make another one of these videos later on once I've got more progress. Hopefully by then Cheesy would have hair or like a body. No? Anyways, that's all for now. Thank you so much for watching. But for now, I'm just gonna go do my thing. You guys do your thing, and I'll see you guys later. Take it easy and stay cheesy.